Alrighty.
Mm.
Let's get into it, ladies and gents. We're gonna now finally talk about the latest episode of PM 2019. Ladies and gents, we are back to our PM series discussions. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we can finally come back into the world of Pocket Monsters, into the world of Ash and Go and their silly shenanigans of an adventure. In this week's episode, your name is Francois. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And
Francois.
basically, it's
Francois.
Magnemite. Or Coil. I think that's his Japanese name.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
right.
Allow me to read the summary real quick, and then we'll continue from there. Sakuragi Laboratories aid Renji's Pokemon Francois the Coil is a very picky eater that only absorbs electricity from retro objects. Watching Francois eat makes Renji recall an incident that happened shortly after the two had first met. Meanwhile, Coil are going berserk in Kuchiba City. Francois is in danger as well. Can Satoshi and Go protect Francois with Renji's help? Let's discuss. And let's begin with the obvious thing that I need to point out. Why is there Kirby bosses in my Pokemon, bro? I saw that and I was like thinking that's dark matter in Magnemite form, bro. With the big eye, I was just expecting blood to now just start shooting out at poor Pikachu and friends. I'm like, oh my lord, that is straight up Kirby. And I still, till this day, with this episode, have no idea how it is that they were able to produce an eye. But they did in this episode, and I really was kind of curious to see how that episode and that evolution would have gone. Had they went the whole way through. I think that was, you know what it is? It reminds me of the Gyaru shit that we had like from a while back.
Yeah.
We were legitimately going to see Super Coil or something just come out of this, and we
I
didn't.
like the
but
fact that when they say in Pokedex entry for Magneton, it's like 3 Magnemites attract together. They don't get smarter though. I was thinking in my head, does that thing still stay dumb? What the fuck's going on?
Are you implying they're stupid?
Yeah, they're stupid.
Does this thing
But
call me stupid?
yeah, so I love the concept of this episode, the idea of Magnemites going beyond their evolutions, becoming this huge, humongous, monstrous thing, which, by the way, I know is unintentional, or maybe it is, but I did like the nod that they're using for the satellite with the space station, because if you know, a couple of weeks into the future, there is also going to be an episode that will focus around a space station with Sophocles. So it's just kind of nice unintentionally to kind of know that the similarities between those two are going to be connected in some way, shape, and form. And I thought that was really good. Now, here's the thing with Renji, and I'm pretty confident, I think a lot of people are going to agree with these first words. Finally, you give this man some love. Because
Yeah.
2 episodes in, he should have been had this.
yeah, this was an episode that I'm still in shock at how good it is, but also kind of questioning why it took them this long to focus on a character who's been with the series since the beginning, and to finally see this, because like I like this episode, I like the flashback, I like a lot of the concepts that they had in this. I think it would have been really good, and it still is good, let it be clear, it is still good. I just wished we could have seen more of it, or have seen it at an earlier time, because I think at that point it would feel a little bit more natural, just in terms of knowing these characters, because since they got introduced so early on, you would hope that they would also get their stories be fleshed out early on too, and not have to wait 90 episodes to get to this point. So in regards to that, like I said, I still came out in this episode with a positive mindset. I still found it to be amusing. I love the twist at the end when you finally figure out the name of why this Magnemite is called Francois. I thought that was actually really cute to learn that it actually is tied to the cafe, and made me appreciate it a little bit more. And the cafe coming back, I thought, was also a nice little way to end it too. There were so many bits and pieces about this episode you had to admire. And also really did enjoy Renji as a character thanks to this episode too, because you saw how dedicated he was to look for the Magnemite, even like to the details of showing like the frostbite in his fingers. With like just them having all pink and everything. This sweater was all soaked wet because of him having to run outside to go look for the Magnemite, and then seeing it all snowed up and whatnot. I just enjoyed a lot of this appeal that was in this episode. It's just more so held back by the fact that which is kind of funny. This episode felt like it was held back all the way till episode 90 to drop, and I'm thinking to myself, this episode could have already been in episode 12, because by that point the Dragonite was already known and all that stuff, like and whatnot. I just feel this deserved to have been earlier. But if I was to just view this episode for what it is and not have to tie to whatever time or slot it's in, I would still give it a positive 7.5 out of 10. It's still it doesn't reach the boundaries of like super emotional or heartbreaking, but it still is at the end of the day a cute episode. And to me, sometimes just having episodes like this every now and then doesn't hurt, and I applaud them for that. So that's just my take on it. I'll pass it on to the next person then. Emmy, let me pass this one on to you. What do you think of this week's episode?
Honestly, I'm in the same boat as you. I really enjoyed the episode personally. I just love little things like this, and that we're relying on our own characters for this series to like just bring out the good in the series.
Tell them again, Emmy.
Well, it's like, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Where's
like,
my big fan?
I mean, like, I love little kids. Like, I love the scientists. Like, honestly, like, even when we got, I don't remember the girl's name, but like, I remember when we got her.
No! Hold, stop the show. That's immediately the problem right there. The fact that you don't even know her name means they didn't even focus on her long enough. Her name's Kakuni, by the way. And
Kikuna.
Kikuna, get it right.
Kikunai,
right.
Sorry. I was close enough.
Kikuna.
Don't give me TSS made it sound like I said a completely different name.
Actually, you did.
No, hold on. I'm challenging this. I got the K, the U, the K, and the N right. I fucked up on the last part. Don't say it like I said, her name is Matt. Like, fucking don't sit up there and say it like I said a completely different
He is the king of this, and this will be on the 22 compilation. Hi, Clippers.
Don't sit up there and say it like I was completely out of the fucking ballpark.
You have to remember that my ears are fucking sharp.
You sound like Cassandra when her name is Sydney.
Kikunai. The point is Kikunai, and and that actually adds to my point.
But there's no E sound. It's Kikuna.
It doesn't matter. My point is that they.
No, it doesn't. You fucked up. Next,
my fucking point was that literally the character is so not focused on that we had a whole name problem.
Emmy,
Right.
speak, please. Thank you.
She's a Psyduck girl, all right? Let's just agree on that.
She has a thing for
Kikuna.
ducks, yes.
But like for yes, exactly, and literally so much, because literally her entire room is full of Psyduck. But anyways, I'm just glad that we're focusing on, like, it is late. I agree with that, but it's better late than never, right? I guess you can say that, right?
Thank you.
But yeah, no problem. But I love the little moment with Pikachu, like trying to like give Magnemite like the electricity, and Magnemite's like, nah, I don't want this, like I want 5-star electricity, all right? Like I don't take this. And like Pikachu was just so sad about it. I was like, oh, Pikachu, it's okay. So that was like a little moment I really liked. And then also this was a part that I forgot about, but then I remembered. But like Go with like the professor coat on, I guess to distract the Magnemite. That was like, I was like, whoa, okay, confirmed. Go is now a professor. The story is over. That's it. So that was pretty
sad
funny.
emotional Pokemon song. Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. So I found that really funny as well. And the same thing what you said, KG, as well. The name for Francois being like named after the cafe was really sweet as well. And it just goes to show like how much Renji really cares for him. And even like what you said too about like his fingers like being frozen, like from that flashback that we got where he was chasing after him when he got lost in the snow. Like little details like that also made like the episode really nice for me as well. The Kirby boss, Okay, I guess this is what's happening in Pokemon. Buy the new Kirby game today, guys. I mean, it's not out yet, but like, buy it when it comes out.
It's available
But,
for pre-order right now after the episode I dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was I was like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing. I mean, like, I'll be honest, like the ending was kind of like the weak point for me because of how like the satellite just like turned off and it's like, all right, everything's like back to normal. Okay. But we'll say this. If they end up tying that whole like satellite thing with Sophocles, I will take back that statement for this episode because then that's good writing and that's also connecting and that's also foreshadowing, which Journey needs more of. So if they do that, I'll be happy. But if not, then I guess that would be my weak point for the episode. But other than that, it was a unique episode because I don't think we've seen this concept before, or
No.
have we?
No.
Right? Yeah. So then I thought,
Not this specific problem.
yeah. So like I thought it was really unique. I'm like, good job, Journeys. You gave me a wholesome episode. I cannot be mad. So yeah, that's my review.
All right.
Numbers.
Great.
7.5 out of 10. Yeah, there we go.
Nice. So let's move on to the next one. How about you, Polly? We haven't heard from you about your thoughts on this episode, so let's hear what you have to say, buddy.
I feel like I have nothing of substance. Really
I only say this because you watched this recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Holly, your opinion is substance.
Yeah, you mad?
I looked up what town or what Vermilion was based off. I'm like, does Yokohama have a or no, is it Yokohama?
Yokohama.
Have a temperate climate? Because I noticed in one part it was snowing. I'm like, we don't get that many Kanto episodes except for Snow Way Out and.
Well, then again, though, you have to remember that it just snowed in Japan, so.
Also, didn't it snow in that episode when when Go went to visit his parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Snow is uncommon, but it's uncommon in Tokyo and Yokohama, but it's not like rare.
Always better that the area they're in is in Kanto by name alone. There's nothing out here that makes me go, oh yeah, that's
also the Psyduck one with Kikunya.
Kikuna.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Kikuna.
Yes.
And in that one Chronicles episode, but who's?
Oh, that was in Journeys. I didn't remember that.
The Chronicles. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. You know, there were a couple moments where I guess I was kind of bored, like not in a bad way, just like it was. I can't say it's a very memorable episode unless, like Emmy said, we get that for it's intentional foreshadowing for the Sophocles thing. But it was very wholesome and cute. I also like Professor Go, and I'm wondering, a couple of people I've seen on Twitter, I'm wondering, is that foreshadowing? Maybe in the future we'll get Professor Go, like the real thing. But you never know with that. I have so much random stuff.
That's okay.
Francois was really cute. I'm an old soul, so I get Francois. Like I love going into antique shops. I love looking at quaint things in the past. So I thought that was a cool concept that we haven't really. You know, we've got like Quagsire who like round things and Murkrow who are drawn to shiny items, but like this is a cool concept. And with a Pokemon that you don't really think about too much, I guess. Magmite, so like
an inanimate object Pokemon, so it doesn't get much time to express itself.
Yeah. I didn't know. I thought it was a shower cap at first on its head instead of a doorknob cover.
Shout out to the Bonnet crew.
Yeah, the Bonnet crew.
But this is the most random thing of all. Do you know how he put the aluminum foil on Francois's head at first?
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene in Beauty and the Beast during VR Guest when they're like, try the gray stuff, it's delicious.
Oh my god.
The tinfoil hat. Looks like guys, Guys, I'm sober. I watched the episode sober, but still I have that going.
Right.
then-
So I guess so an experience.
Beautiful
What would you give it
quality.
as a rating then?
Well, there's one more thing. I was just gonna say Go is aging us by calling fans and telephones retro appliances. But I also like how it characterizes him, you know, as the kid who he's so used to modern technology and being on his computer a lot as a kid. So that was a nice.
We're talking
little
about
touch.
we're talking about the same kid who has a fucking like 6 fucking monitor setup in his house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would give it a 7.
Okay.
Good episode.
Who have we not had the chance? I know Tyrone.
I'll go next.
Okay, Tyrone, if you'd like to go.
Okay, so first of all, I actually like this episode. So I know that throws a lot of people off.
Nice. You see?
Wow.
And
I just wish everybody just started clapping all of a sudden. Just everybody just let's go, boys.
This is what I like about Tyrone. When he's on point, I like it.
Oh man, but continue on, buddy.
so
Continue.
a tweet was made earlier where they were like, so I think somebody posted it where they were like the Kakuna episode and the Renji episode, and they go, all right, Journeys, when's Sakuragi's episode? And I made a joke and I put episode 157. And and then he goes, let's go. And then I go, they waited so long, and it's sad. The sad part is I actually like their eps. And then Lumio Trainer Zach comes in and goes, you liked something about Journeys, question marks and exclamation points? And then Raph comes in and says, my account must be hacked, right? And I go, let's find this son of a bitch.
As you could tell, we never did.
Never found him.
Speaking of,
And then I go, believe it or not, there's a small number of episodes I actually do like. So I listed them. Episode 11, Episode 12, Episode 18, 47, 57, 66, 79, 87, and 93. For reference, if you don't want to like look at the numbers, Episode 11 is the Koharu episode, the one with the Emperor. Episode 12 is Lance versus fucking Leon. Then the next one was episode 18. Episode 18 is Bisky's episode.
Yes.
Episode 47 is fucking. Give me a second.
The food eating
That's
contest.
the food
Yeah,
eating
the
contest.
competition.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought that
Good.
was funny. Episode 57 is the
just talked about
Kakuna episode. Yeah, it's the Kakuna episode. Episode 66 is the Flabebe episode, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
Episode 66 is
The cake?
where is that episode?
Oh.
Oh no. Episode 66 is the Flabebe episode. Sorry. Episode 79 is. Oh, it's the Espeon and Umbreon episode. I like that one.
Yes.
The one with the clone
Yeah,
Koharu.
Kiharu's a clone.
Yeah, the one that reminds me of
Haru too.
Pokemon. The one that reminds me of Pokemon Conquest for some reason. And then episode 87 is that's the Regina episode with Glaceon.
Grace.
And then finally we have the last episode, which is this episode, episode
Yes.
93. What do all those episodes have in common? I'm not sure. I think they're all just really nice. I honestly feel like Journeys would have been better if it were a slice of life anime about Pokemon that had nothing to do with Ash and Go, personally.
Actually, a lot of the
Like if
episodes.
they had just been called The World of Pokemon and just left it alone.
Oh, you mean Chronicles?
No, not even no, not even Chronicles, because Chronicles has characters that dealt with Ash. I'm talking about these characters with personal lives where they deal with Pokemon at the same time. Like if you separate Ash and Go completely from the picture.
Hmm.
And so far they've done a really good job writing those characters and writing those things. The problem is that I had was, and again, these are outside things. I'm not blaming the episode for this. When this episode came out, nobody talked about it on Twitter. I was so pissed. Not a single
yeah,
person
no one
talked
did.
about this
No.
goddamn episode when it came out. I didn't see any screenshots. You want to know what I saw instead? Fucking Brock's coming back, and I'm like, oh my god. Which I have no problem with Brock coming back. He did it in Sun and Moon recently, so it's not even like it's from a long absence.
Right.
My problem was this overshadowed a good episode, and that's exactly what my problem was. And then I made a tweet about it, and obviously you know how that went.
Yeah.
So then we had to, that was one of my discussions in the Poke Roundtable, was why is it that the returning characters coming back is more important than the new content that we're getting that could actually have the potential to be good if focused on, but unfortunately we gotta show off another fucking character coming back again, and that obviously takes more prominence than an actually good written episode, because I like this. I like the fact that Renji winds up thinking of the idea in order to fix the problem, even though he's not the strongest person there. I like the fact that they created a concept that was completely original with Magnemites fusing together to make this ultimate giant, like, what the fuck monster, to show that yes, Pokemon have the ability to do new shit that doesn't have to necessarily tie into the canon of what we know in the video games. Yes, this freak of nature Magneton exists because of all the Magnemites. The downside is once it's fused like that, it's like that forever, which means trainers won't get the chance to have their Magnemites anymore. That's a nice way to create a risk without having to blow up the world or anything, or cause like a big problem. I like the fact that, like, Pikachu, now obviously Journeys didn't look into this, so I'm not going to give him that credit. But in the OG series, Pikachu got sick when Magnemite came around it.
Oh,
and like,
episode 30.
Yeah, and Pikachu didn't want any part of it when they were in Gringy Town. And now Pikachu's getting upset because Magnemite doesn't want any part of him. It's like this weird reverse, back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all own me situation. And like, I like that. I like that we went through backstory about Renji and Magnemite. It reminded me of like a Studio Ghibli film. Like, just like he's in the snow.
Well, I would say more like the animation that was made when all of the Magnemite came together. That was kind of Ghibli-like with the fluidity.
And I mean the tone of him having the frostbites in the snow, almost dying, which is I think a callback to an old fucking an old very popular book that Japan really likes for some reason, that they made a call out to when James made that damn joke in that James episode where he had to deal with Jezebel, where the kid dies in the snow with his dog. So you like, but it's in the snow. So the guy like finds Magnemite, but he's like so like frostbitten at this point. He's about to freeze to death, and Magnemite comes in. And then, like I like that. I liked all of that. And I also noticed, weirdly, both Renji and Kakuna's episodes deal with snow. But, I do like all of that stuff. My problem? We're 92 episodes in. 93, I think, actually. We're 93 episodes in, and we're just presenting that. And again, that's not this episode's problem. So all my problems are outside. And one of my problems was originally, okay, the Magnemites are looking for Renji's Magnemite. Shouldn't they be able to find it just based off magnetic energy? But then I thought about it. They did put the tinfoil on its damn head, so it's probably messing up like the signals. So I'll give them that one. Ash and Go are actually useful in this episode. They distract the Magnemites and keep them busy. I like that too. I'm legitimately impressed that the series was able to fluctuate which characters they needed to use for what moment and not make it some random, okay, Ash and Go are here, but it's really this person's episode. But they have to be here because they're on the fucking poster. Like I liked all of that. This was a legitimately decent episode. And I like the fact that, like Polly said earlier, we don't see Magnemite a lot because inanimate Pokemon don't get much screen time because it's very hard to show expressions on them. Although I think they found out something with Magnemite they can do where they do that thing where if Magnemite's happy, they take the little black part of its eye and turn it into an upside down U to make it look like he's happy.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Or they curve the eye down to make him sad or pouty or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that they fucking did something with that. Like, it's good to see that and like Polly said earlier, I like Pokemon that have gimmicks with like specific things. This one likes antique electronics. That's a good idea. Like, I liked all of that. My only issue at this point is that, like, this is just now our chance to see Renji get some actual development. And I hate to say it, but I feel like they did their Renji quota, so we may not see any more of this shit ever again. So the problem is you've helped develop your cast, but this is probably the last time you're going to develop your cast. So unfortunately we get that. So I'll give it an 8. I don't give, like, it's a decent episode actually. I'm legitimately impressed that the writers were able to come up with this.
Can't believe this.
No, I believe it.
No,
I had it in the
I
back,
know
I had it in
you
the
do.
back of my
Hey,
brain.
Tyrone, I got a
Back of my
question for you
brain.
then. Like, it's like where you rank this from the 9 episodes that you like? Where you rank it more in the top or more in the bottom of the 9
And
that
I
you
would say I think Viscous still takes the top.
still take the top?
They did everything right in that one. We had to sort of rip Pokemon away from battle for this one in order to work.
Mhm.
Yeah, the majority of ones that you really like are actually the non-battle ones.
Yeah, because that's because I don't trust journeys with battles anymore. They had one good one, and that's Visky's. Everything else they fucked up.
You're kind of the same as I am with that.
To me,
But
still my
yeah.
favorite episode still has to go to the Torchic episode, bro. That's
Yeah, I like when they like. I wish this anime was just sort of the life of Pokemon and people or something, and you see like
I
trainers
don't know.
do.
Yeah, those like are just so fun and homesick.
that
Yeah,
sounds.
because-
I was gonna say, may I introduce you to Sun and Moon, but then you said Ash, and I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah. Sun and Moon's whole thing was they were trying to be funny, which it felt forced at times. Here, like it feels like a natural like progression of how people in Pokemon work in the same world. I like that Koharu's first episode was okay. Everybody's pressuring me to like Pokemon just because my dad works at a research facility, but I don't even know if I like Pokemon. I don't know what the hell I like. I'm a fucking kid in school. Mom, what do you think, bitch? I just draw magazines.
She's actually one of like those like very
Mangaka.
super detailed manga stuff. Like for the R18
Yeah.
club.
She's like,
But
girl,
she's
I
too
just
afraid
like-
to admit it.
Girl, I'm just a
Koharu's
mangaka.
mom and Tracy's sketches should meet.
Girl, I'm just a
that would be
mangaka. Like I like that though because it felt natural. Not everybody needs to be into Pokemon in the world of Pokemon. So it makes sense that the character contemplates on that. But then they gave her an Eevee, and obviously I don't have a problem with her having the Eevee. They gave her an Eevee and just sort of said, figure it out. You have a Pokemon now. Figure it out, stupid.
Says the
But
writers.
yeah, it says the writers. But yeah, that's my overall thing. Because unfortunately, I see the problem with Koharu is they're just relegating her to Evian episodes. You're gonna do this? Why? Because a fucking Flareon is in it. Like,
It's hot.
yeah. But
So-
yeah,
okay.
there we go. That's my overall opinion. 8 out of 10. It's a decent episode. I like it. It's a nice feel-good episode.
I don't know. I'm so
Alright.
bummed I missed you on Friday, Tyrone, because I was actually. The funny thing is, like, I think you know how we had like a little bit of the power surge in that episode,
Mhm.
and I actually legitimately lost power that day.
Uh,
Legitimately, yeah, legitimately, I lost power that day. So I was just like, wow, I didn't think that day's gonna mimic the episode.
Yeah, the Magnemite was secretly behind you and
Right.
just
Yeah,
sucking up the energy.
you secretly it happened in real life. Yeah, because I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing you online, but I was like, damn it, I don't have no fucking internet now, and so I couldn't stayed, and I lost.
Right.
I think I was without internet for 45 minutes
Oof.
because my phone internet died on me too. I was like, what the hell?
Okay.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
so let's go and we got 2 people left. I think it's you, Nessa, and TSS who have
TSS.
left to go. And wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think-
that's in TSS.
Yeah, Nessa
Yeah.
and TSS are the last 2. I thought you said something different, Nessa.
Oh, I said the same thing you said.
Yeah, okay, so Nessa and TSS, you're the last 2. Who wants to go next out of you 2?
do you want to go TSS or you want me?
I want you to go first.
Okay.
Alright, Nessa, take it
Ladies
away,
first.
buddy. Well, what's your take on this week's
okay,
episode?
yeah, I think basically you guys already hit everything just about. This like for me it was like a super wholesome episode. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how they keep making some of these Pokemon like a lot cuter, but like I end up finding friends all so adorable. And I did. Like, I actually did enjoy the little doorknob that you put them in the head. But I actually did thought too probably it was a shower cap as well. So I thought it was the same thing. Yeah, because he looked like he was a shower cap, but it was super adorable. Like, for that episode, the about the Magnemite that like the electricity, like the antique stuff. I kind of find it really interesting because I think I kind of brought it up on Friday. I don't think everyone was there, but I made a comment about like how like a lot of the antique stuff, especially like the older stuff, like they tend to like absorb like more electricity compared to the modern appliances. Especially now, a lot of like the modern appliances, they're kind of like, oh, you save energy, like so you reduce your electric bills. So I actually kind of find it interesting that he was like the little Magnemite was so attached to the chandelier and the neon, and then the ones that was like really super absorbing electric stuff. So I actually found that like the really cute touch with that from little Francois, and then he was, and then it was kind of funny how he just did not like Pikachu's electricity. Like I guess Pikachu's electricity is not that I don't know what you call it, juicy, I guess. Or, I don't know. Juicy, I don't know.
You got the juice.
So yeah, that Magnemite was looking for that like the high type of juice though. Like so it makes sense. But yeah, no, that was I think my only gripe about the episode for me though, and then I think they could have I kind of wish we could have saw like a little bit more electric Pokemon, because it seems like I guess Pikachu was the only one to distract all the Magnemites. And then I was like, I kind of saw these other electric Pokemon. I was like, go, where's your electric Pokemon? Like, you could have used that too. That was like the minor little things. Like, they could have done like a little more to separate the Magnemite. And that little big Magnemite thing, I actually thought more so was Starro from Suicide Squad. It reminded me more of that because it was because of the big eye, and then this like really scary thing. But that was just me though. But I know everyone else is going with Kirby, so I did think of Kirby.
I actually thought it looked like the door for the flask from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh my gosh, yes, I forgot about that.
And so, somebody did say that too on Twitter, but
it was just like I kind of wish we the only part at the end I was kind of like bummed. I was like, it's over that fast though. So they're just like, oh, dude. So the way to resolve this episode, we have to turn off the satellite, and then the Magmar back to normal. But other than that, those little stuff though. But with him and then Renji bonding, like that was adorable. And then Renji was doing anything to protect the Magnemite. I thought it was I actually felt a little sad, like when his hands are almost numb, trying to find that little Magnemite. But it seems like since he wasn't gonna absorb any type of electricity too, so he probably would have I guess Pokemon could have like died. It was like, or I don't know how Magnemite would do, just like he just got off power forever. So yeah, that's about it for this episode for me. I can't really say much because you guys already hit everything else. So.
Okay. What about a score then? That's
for me, it's a 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, so everyone got the passable, favorable kind of episode today. But of course, we gotta make sure it's 100%. So TSS, I will now pass this on to you, buddy. What is your input on this week's episode?
I will actually disagree with Nessa in saying that we talked about everything, because we did not. So we did not talk about a few things, but let's start from the beginning. All right. So first of all, now we have Francois. So this episode really like dived in on the backstory of Francois, and I really did like that. But let's start from the beginning. So when the electricity goes out for the first time, first of all, I don't know what it is, but I think it's another. I think it's just another part where they like to treat Satoshi like Charlie Brown, because you see how his head tilts back and you have the nose pointing straight up. That's another thing. That's been kind of like a that's been kind of like a kind of off color nod throughout the series. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Francois' retro electronics thing. All right. So first of all, we're talking about a lot of the things, and no, Terrell, I did that because I want to give suspense. So so if you notice a lot of the electronics, they are electronics that are pre-solid state era, or the vacuum tube era, or anything before the mid 1970s. However, they kind of botched that narrative up, because in the in one of the Dream Bubble sequences there, you see a desk fan, a oscillating desk fan, but it looks like it's from the 1980s. So they kind of botched at that, but then they rekindled it by showing off a rotary telephone. So okay, that's the only gripe about that. So the cause of that power outage was a magnetic storm. Now, when I heard of that, I was reminded back in the late 90s and early 2000s, because a lot of cable head ends, especially with solar flares causing magnetic interference, electromagnetic interference, they used to have outages. So usually some satellites at cable head ends would often get outages in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I was reminded of that. So we have that. So, as for the episode itself, the narrative with Renji's history with Francois really was integrated with the narrative of the episode, as each section of the plot was seamlessly transitioned into each flashback. That's what I really enjoyed about that. And then when you get to the meat and potatoes, the climactic scene where you have all of the Magnemite come together. Sakuragi calls Go on the phone and say, "Oh, we found the root cause of it. It's a broken satellite that's emitting electromagnetic waves to the Vermilion area. So that's why they're causing all the Magnemite to go berserk." And they said, and specifically in the dialogue, that the space station was trying to see if they could stop it, but then Satsuki says, "Oh, we don't have any time." So what Pikachu does, as now, once again, as Tyrone said, this is a reference to episode 30 of Kanto. As you saw before, when Pikachu tried to electric shock Francois, it wasn't effective. Now, with the pole change, the Thunderbolt was actually causing a repel effect. Because of the dissonance, the electromagnetic disturbance, so it caused all the Magnemite to disperse because of that electricity. So, and I will also say that thank God TPCI did not change Francois' name, because that would have completely ruined this narrative by the time we got to the dub. The only other thing I would say is that I just wanted to, when you see the last scene when they're in the cellar, when Renji and Francois are in the cellar with the manager or the owner of the cafe, I wish we had more. But like I said, it's a really solid narrative. I really enjoyed the way that they presented it. It's a problem, as everybody said, a magnetic storm. We don't really have that issue. That was an issue that wasn't really explored before. But as I said, I don't think it's a reference to Sophocles. I think it was just an incident where
it was just sunspots.
It was it was just the sunspots causing a solar flare, which caused like electromagnetic storm. And,
if they connect that to Sophocles, I feel like that's connected.
Kind of.
I feel like it's connected by Scotch tape.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Exactly.
It must be Sophocles.
Yeah, I mean, let people fantasize. Hey, that's the beauty of opinion. We can always rely on that. But overall, this episode was really good. Very solid episode. I'll give this one an 8.5.
Alrighty. So there you go, ladies and gents. Hope everybody got a chance to give their opinions on the review, and hopefully everyone got a chance to enjoy that as well. It's nice to see everybody, coming off the year on a positive note. I'm very happy with that. This was a nice way to kind of slow things into what 2022 can offer for this series. Nice, slow reintroduction to the world of PM 2019.